Office Money Laundering Division. We executed arrest warrants and search warrants on this illegal gaming facility. This has been a year-long investigation, and now we've charged 7 people with money laundering. This particular game room routinely takes in between $60,000 and $100,000 a day. And we have hit this game room 4 times in the past so that we could establish a money laundering case against the owners of this facility. And so we are now, we hit 7 different locations. We've arrested 5 people, and we're still hunting for 2 more. And, you know, again, this is a game room that steals from people on fixed incomes. There's crime that happens in and around these places. And, you know, they clearly didn't get the message that after hitting them 4 times that we meant business. And today we executed again a search warrant and arrest warrants for first-degree money laundering. And so we're taking it very serious. We're tired of this. I think the public is tired of these types of places. Again, this is not a victimless place. These machines are completely rigged against the player, and they're effectively stealing from people. And we've had people use Lone Star cards that they've traded off to gamble. We've had all kinds of different things that have happened in and around. There's been murders outside of game rooms. So today we sent a very clear message that we're not going to tolerate this. We mean business, and we're going to shut this place down.
How long has this place been in business, and what kind of calls for service have you had beyond the 4 raids? Has it had a history of?
We've had complaints that have come in, anonymous complaints, but this is in South Houston, the city of South Houston, so that's their primary jurisdiction. So for calls for service here, we wouldn't really get, but we have come to this facility 4 times. We've come to this game room 4 times and have raided it 4 times. And, you know, we usually arrest the operator that's illegally paying out players here. This time we focused on the owners. And as I said, we have been doing this investigation for a year. So money laundering cases are not, you know, 2-week cases. They take a long time. They're very document intensive.
What about the arrestees' priors? What kind of priors do they have? They're
We
bound to have some.
We do know that they're, I don't have that information, but can get that information to you. But I do know that they are heavily involved in the gaming industry. And, you know, again, I have yet to walk into a game room that's operating legally. All of them that we've been in are operating illegally. And so we're sending this message that the owners that think they're insulated by having operators and you know, $14 an hour workers that are working here, that are being arrested, we're coming after the owners. That's the message that we're sending today. And we're doing it both from the nuisance abatement standpoint, the criminal aspect of filing criminal charges. And this is a very serious criminal charge. A first-degree felony. The only thing above a first-degree felony is capital murder.
And what about the property owner, the person that's leasing this property to them if they don't own it outright? What do they face for, you know?
Well, they're going to face a lawsuit potentially from the county attorney's office for nuisance abatement. You know, again, you can't have a property that you own that allows knowingly allow criminal activity to take place. And the fact that we've hit this place 4 times in the past, clearly criminal activity is going on here. And since we have raided each time, this tells you how emboldened they are. That they feel like that we're not going to do anything. They've added on to this game room. They added a bar in the back. They've added new machines. So we've hit them 4 times, and they were adding on to the game room. So we wanted to send a very clear message to this owner and make sure that he understood completely we mean business. And there's, again, 7 people that are being charged with first-degree money laundering.
Is there a roundabout dollar amount you can tell us that you're accusing was being laundered to get to that first-degree felony?
Well, on average, they're doing $60,000 to $100,000 a day here. So it could be in the millions. We're going to have to calculate it all up because we're dealing with banking, we're dealing with with cash money. We arrested each one of them that we have in custody thus far at their home. So we'll be going through it along with the district attorney's office, I might add, who's been great on this case. We'll have them assist us go through and trying to seize assets that we can tie back to criminal activity.
Any of the owners, the powers that be of this operation, do you know of any legitimate businesses that they own that they could have been using to help launder this money?
I don't want to go into too much detail, but there is that possibility. You know, oftentimes people that are laundering money try to filter that money through legitimate businesses so that the money gets washed, and that's traditionally what happens. And almost inevitably in every money laundering case, you'll have that aspect in it.
Do you have mug shots available?
We have mug shots. We have, we'll have some shots of the game room itself on the inside to show you what it looks like. Our intent is to take every machine that's here, clear this place completely out. And again, I can't thank the district attorney's office, the county attorney's office, all of our law enforcement partners that came out to help us today. And I think this very clearly sends a clear message to these people that are going to operate these kind of places. It's not a victimless crime. Everybody thinks that, well, it's gambling, it's a victimless, you know. It's not, because they have these machines so rigged against the player, it's effectively stealing from them. And inevitably, I go in here and I see people that are on fixed incomes that really can't afford to be here. And they're just taking advantage of people. So it's sad. As I said before, we had a case where somebody used their Lone Star card, and they had $600 on it, and they sold it to the game room for $300 cash. So it's not a victimless crime. People are getting hurt. Families are being impacted by this. And we're going to make a bold statement, and we did today. We hit 7 homes, and we're charging them all with first-degree felonies.
So, in utilizing that Lone Star card in the wrong way, not within the guidelines of the issue, are there penalties?
Absolutely.
Such as federal or state?
No, there's state penalties for that. Both the person that actually got the card is actually going to be charged with a crime, as well as the person that sold it. So I know there was some new legislation that puts your picture on it so that somebody can't interchange their Lone Star card. So, you know, these are the kinds of things that happen in places like this. And and oftentimes people are waiting outside for people that actually win at the game room. And they wait for them to come outside and they rob, you know, they hold a gun to them, or they hold them up, or they beat them up to steal the money that they made in these game rooms. So again, it's just not a victimless crime. It's not something that should be taken lightly, and we're here to send that proper message that if you're going to continue to thumb your nose at the system and expand your operation after we've hit you 4 times, it's time that we send a much louder message.
Does this represent a shift in the way that your office is going to start handling illegal game rooms?
Yes, it does. And it has been. And law enforcement across the board, I think, is we're using manpower and using resources to come out, and these places open up 2 days later. That's not a sustainable operation for law enforcement. Our job is to hit something, close it down, fix the problem, and move on to the next problem. And so it is going to be a shift. So all those game rooms out there that are illegally operating, that are money laundering, we're going to be coming after you, as well as other law enforcement agencies are. So it's best just to operate your business legally. But as I said, to date, and we've been doing this for years, I have never walked into a game room that's operating legally. Not one.
Can you tell us how many games you're seizing? How many?
There's 228 machines here, and so we're going to try to seize every single one of them. And again, to send that message that you're not going to open up tomorrow or the next day. You know, this was a very, very well-planned operation, and we're sending a message. If this person doesn't get the message now, I don't think they'll ever get the message.
Was there something in your way that kept you from always sending this, you know, first-degree felony
Yes.
for every single one? What's
Yes.
changed?
Yeah. During an investigation for money laundering, again, it takes a long time. These are not short-term. You know, we run into a crime and we go file charges on somebody. They can sometimes take a year or two. It just depends how extensive the person's money holdings are. So it takes time, it's document intensive, and that's why you see some of these other game rooms that are not they're not closing right now, and the public's saying, well, why aren't those places being shut down? Because it takes time to establish a case of money laundering, and that's really what we're after, is people that are laundering money, ill-gotten gains, and laundering money. And it just takes a time for law enforcement. It's very labor intensive, document intensive, to run all the different trails to establish money laundering and actually get the district attorney's office to file charges or accept charges for that.
So would it
Are
be
the
fair to
machines, are they like 8-liners or?
They're 8-liners. They are 8-liners, that's correct.
And what's your message to unknowing people walking in here thinking they're going to win something, never been in here before, just exploring the possibility of making something here, just very initial, they're going to lose ultimately.
They're going to lose because these machines are rigged worse than Vegas odds. So we have had the guy that provides the machines to these different game rooms across the city and county, and the way that they are rigged, the way that they are programmed, is in favor of the house. So in a big way, worse than Vegas odds. So imagine Vegas has a lot of beautiful buildings, and they didn't just make it, by losing money to players. They made it by making money off of players.
And they can change the odds usually remotely, so if it's things paying off.
Sure.
Sure.
And that's the hook. Let the winner win every once in a while, so it keeps you coming back, and then they've got you. And I understand it's a form of entertainment and all that, but some people have really lost it all. Imagine you have a Lone Star card and you just sold it, and that's what you use to feed your family. And now you don't have a Lone Star card for the rest of the month, and then you're calling the state saying, I've lost it. I mean, it's just, I don't want to see families go without because an irresponsible parent is in here gambling their Lone Star card or gambling money that they get from the state.
Would it be fair to say that those 4 times you've been here before were necessary to lead up to this first felony?
It's extremely fair. In fact, that's what it takes sometimes, and the public doesn't understand that. Sometimes, in order to establish a case, you've got to work the case completely, and so they see us hit it. So it is absolutely fair to say that. Anybody else? Okay, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thank you. Couldn't tell that to Jeremy when he interviewed us.